And that's why the tributes are pouring in from, a lot of India's neighbors and countries across the world. Let me just read out a few reactions we're also getting in. This is Alex Illis, the British High Commissioner, who goes on to say that General Rawat was a pioneer as he started a joint defense approach which we follow in the UK. He led that approach in India. It's very sad for India to lose a great leader, a soldier, and a thoroughly nice man. Ambassador of France, Emmanuel Lenin, says, I want to pay tribute, and I wanted to pay tribute and to come in person for that ceremony, as we remember him as a great military leader, emphatic, warm, determined, and great friend to move forward cooperation with my country. He'll be really fondly remembered. Let me also go across to my colleague Shreya Dhondiyal. Shreya, could you just recap for us, the kind of tributes that have come in for General Rawat, the dignitaries who've come in earlier today to pay their last respects, cutting across party lines politically and of course from various fields of civil life, and of course what we could expect at Barar Square as well.
Shivani, the greatest tribute I think that has come in since morning is what you're seeing on your screens right now. The streets of the national capital lined with people carrying the national flag, shouting Bharat Mata Ki Jai, General Bipin Rawat Amar Rahe. This is a working day, and these are people who didn't know him personally, possibly had just seen him on television make some controversial statements, and yet they are out because they feel this is a man they know. This is a people's general who comes from the soil, who rose from the ranks to become the CDS of this country. This is a man who spoke their language. This is a man, military people can be a bit intimidating because of the uniform they wear. There is a certain mannerism to them. There is a certain way, a formal way that they speak in. That is their upbringing, that is their training, but not General Bipin Rawat. He never let controversies come in the way of his frankness. Brutally frank, he would, he could speak to a Nobel Prize winner, have that sort of intellectual depth to carry on a conversation with him. I've seen him interact with, for example, his Jawans as well, and to them he spoke their language. He wanted to know how they are doing. He wanted to know how their families are doing. What are their concerns? That is what makes a great leader. There's a reason why you're seeing all these people run alongside the gun carriage of General Bipin Rawat as it makes his final journey. The reason is that India's armed forces don't just come from Delhi or Bombay. India draws its armed forces from all over the country. And these are boys who talk about their senior officers, talk about their generals to their families. For many, many families, families of 1.3 million armed force personnel, many of them would know General Bipin Rawat and would know of him and would think of him as part of their family. So many people that you're seeing running alongside, coming possibly from the state of Uttarakhand. This is his home state, which has declared a 3-day mourning already. But people from other places as well. For example, I'll just give you a small example here, Shivani. One of the people in his security detail, Teja, who died alongside the general. His last call was to his family, and the conversation was about how excited he is to be traveling with the general. So when a family in Andhra Pradesh today mourns the loss of their son, they also mourn the loss of this general who they may never have met, but they had heard about so many times on so many occasions from their son. And this is an experience that will be replicated in almost every Fauji home. I can tell you, anyone whose sons or daughters are in the armed forces, and even not, today have switched on their television since morning, first to bid a final goodbye to Brigadier Liddar, and now to witness these amazing scenes, unprecedented scenes that are coming to us from the national capital.
Unprecedented indeed, and it would be fair to say, and I don't think anybody will take offense when we all say, and our guests were saying earlier as well, that this was a little surprising, it was unexpected, but it was so spontaneous and heartfelt that we all understand where it is coming from, and it reassures the country and reaffirms our deep respect and reverence for the soldier. Many foreign military commanders also attending the last rites, as we stay with those pictures that are coming in from Barar Square now, from Sri Lanka, from Bhutan, from Nepal, from Bangladesh, India's neighboring countries, as I was mentioning. Lieutenant General KJ Singh, what is the significance you read into the kind of attendance we are seeing for General Rawat's final rites?
Firstly, while we confront each other sometimes on borders, but we cooperate also. We have exercises which are to build cooperation, interoperability. General Rawat had done his command and general staff course in USA. He would have interacted with people from many countries over there. He also served in the United Nations in Congo, where I told you General Bajwa was his colleague. They were both under General Vikram Singh. So he would have served with Pakistani troops. They would have known him. And like Shreya was telling us, the nature of our senior officers is like this soldier Teja. For him, General Rawat would have been like a father because he would have, while even if he was meeting him for a minute, he would ask him कि खाना खाया था, चाय पी थी, घर से चिट्ठी आया है, घर से बात करते हो, वाइफ आपके कैसे है, and these short sentences connect you not only to Teja, but connect you to his folks back in Andhra Pradesh. So generalship is a tough thing, but General Rawat was made and cut out for this. He would have definitely endeared himself to all his staff, and through them, the warmth would have resonated to different corners of where they come from. And no wonder so many people, such outpouring, and he deserves every bit of it, and maybe more of it. So we salute you, our friend, and we can only assure you that we'll do our utmost to take your legacy forward. Your dreams, which you have shaped them so well against so much of resistance, we commit ourselves to take it forward.
Just a quick, detail about what is expected as the final rites are performed. There is, of course, a lot of ceremonial significance attached to everything that you're witnessing today, what you have witnessed today, and what will be in store as well. So there will be 99 all ranks from the Army, Navy and Air Force, 33 members of the Tri-Services Band, which will form the front escort, while all 99 ranks from the three services will act as the rear escort. A total of 800 service personnel will be in attendance. The CDS will be accorded a 17-gun salute as per laid down protocols. Post the playing of the last post and roused by Tri-Services buglers, the funeral pyre will be lit by family members. Alok Bansal, we are already beginning to see some of the dignitaries that are there, and the kind of condolences that have come in from across India's friends, diplomatic relationship, etc. Some may question sometimes the overt ceremonial nature, but what would you say that why is all of this required? Why is all of this necessary as we bid our final goodbye to General Rawat and others?
See, firstly, ceremonials are an essential part of armed forces. And please understand, this actually tells the soldiers, tells the followers that when a soldier dies doing his duty, this is the sort of respect that he commands from his countrymen. Because please understand, our armed forces are on the forefront, staking their lives to defend this country. And it is very essential that these soldiers, these sailors, these airmen are told and are made aware that the country stands behind them. Now, this sort of ceremonial, ceremonial send-off actually tells the country, tells the soldiers, tells the forces that the country stands behind them. And this also shows that how popular the general was, their leader was. And of course, by reflection, it also shows that armed forces, how this country respects every man under uniform. And I think it's a very, very big motivating factors for them to put in that extra bit, which they invariably do. Because please understand, the way Indian soldier defends this country's sovereignty and integrity in most hostile territories, no other country has that sort of soldiers doing that in that sort of a hostile environment. And I think that motivation, that inspiration comes from this sort of a thing. And as I said, ceremonials are an integral part and parcel of armed forces, because these actually build up the customs and traditions which allow armed forces to follow a particular path and lay down their lives